The very end of it.
When he's like, somebody tip off sides, damn!
So good.
That's like that.
So good.
That is legitimately one of the funniest moments I've ever seen on a football field.
I cracked up.
It's the IDP show, now you know.
Welcome to the IDP show. I'm your host, Josh Raymer, joined in the Sound Check tonight, Adam Markham. It is a chilly night here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Week 12 has just wrapped up in the NFL season. Addy, we got Thanksgiving right around the corner. As we sit here Tuesday night, we're 2 days out from Turkey Day. Thankful for you, hon.
Thankful for you. Thankful for you guys out there.
Yeah, thank you all
listening
so
and watching.
much. We're very grateful for you all.
Yeah, truly. It's we love doing this pod, and we love the people that interact with us and support us. So
We got a good audience out there.
We
Addy.
do.
We got some good folks.
yeah, everyone's been pretty kind to us. I mean, we've had a few bad eggs, but hey, that's you know, I think overall
That's
like,
a very good batting
yeah,
average.
we're pretty fortunate. You know, internet is a scary place. So yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I'm excited to do some eating.
Excited to do some eating. We got some, crappy games on Thanksgiving. We're still going to watch.
Yeah,
Let's
for
be
sure.
honest. I mean, we get Packers and Lions that day, which is, those are two good teams.
And for us especially, right? IDP, like there's
Always
it's not a bad game.
something to watch for.
Yeah.
And I forgot, Black Friday game,
Oh wow,
Chiefs Raiders on Amazon Prime.
wow, that
So
would be fun.
hashtag blessed.
And there's a great one Sunday, right? There's a real big game. I think I saw it. I'm blanking on what it was, but it seems like there's gonna be some good ones Sunday too.
Well, and you have coming up, I think we have Christmas Day games this year. So we're going to be in trouble with the spouses and with the families.
Philly Baltimore Sunday.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Is that Sunday Night Football or just a regular Sunday game?
3:25. Should have gotten flexed.
Okay. I know they had the first ever Thursday Night Football flex.
I saw that, and it kind of boned.
Yeah, the Broncos, I think
Yeah,
it was.
They get a short week now because of it.
Yep, battling to try to get a wild card spot, battling for the division.
Shout out Broncos, man.
That is the
surprise team of the year.
Really
I think.
is. Really
Bo
is.
Nix just slinging it.
It's funny, Thursday Night Football is typically a little wonky. You got like Al Michaels, who's like kind of wanting to throw himself out of the press box into the bleachers below, just in the pain. But in the games, it's on short rest, so it's always wacky. And then you get the snow for Cleveland versus Pittsburgh this past Thursday. The Jameis Winston clip, have you seen this one? It's the shorter clip. There's like a 13-minute clip going around. I'm like, not going to watch that. Bless y'all that do. I love Jameis Winston, but not that much to watch a 13-minute clip. But there's a great 30-second clip of just some highlights from that game.
The very end of it.
When he's like, somebody tip off sides, damn!
So good.
That's like that.
So good.
That is legitimately one of the funniest moments I've ever seen on a football field.
I cracked up.
He is I cannot wait for him his post-football career. He is going to be a national treasure.
Yeah, he's been a lot of fun, and love to see it. He's that's fun football there, dude.
He's
He's fine.
Probably have a starting job.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's be honest.
I think so.
If you're Las Vegas, you're like, I'd much rather have him than Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. Give me a break. Giants would love to have Jameis Winston right now.
For sure. I feel like New Orleans would probably be better off with Jameis
Yes.
Winston over Carr, So, yeah, he deserves to be a starter in this league. He plays a fun brand of football. If you're a receiver, for that dude.
You love this guy.
Got to.
You love this guy. And that's the thing, too, is we've seen this year with the resurgence of kind of the old bust quarterbacks kind of getting a second chance, a third chance somewhere else and revitalizing their careers. We've talked about it with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, but you're also seeing it with Jameis. Joe Flacco had a moment there.
Sure.
Don't
be surprised if we see the same thing with Daniel Jones in a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes getting into a better situation.
Zach Wilson could maybe rehab his career and land somewhere else.
The book's not written on these. Like Alex Smith had the same type thing happen to him, right? So, yeah, sometimes it just, these guys break out in their early 30s, mid-30s, right?
Just takes some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold looking great, right?
Yeah.
Mentioned him.
So it's I'm excited to see what the future holds for Jameis Winston. I would love to see them either cut or bench permanently Deshaun Watson and just roll with Jameis.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they're always like, this guy's uncuttable. No, he's not.
No.
Just cut his ass, revitalize that fan base, get people fired up again, excited for like a scrappy, us against the world kind of Cleveland Browns style of football.
Yeah.
You'll win the fans back with one move. Like, just rip the Band-Aid off, guys. Come on.
Yeah, he's not worth it.
No, he's really not. It's worth it, though, for you all to hang around. We're going to give you all the rundown of what went down in Week 12 for IDP. We're also going to talk some Dynasty Stashes at the end. Addy, I think you got a little mini article you're working on, potentially.
Sure.
Being a wordsmith, look at you. And we had a question this week on our website about linebacker stashes, so we'll talk about those as well. But let's kick things off here and start with, we've talked a lot about the edge rushers. We are so spoiled. It has become such a talent-rich position in the NFL. Edge rusher has. And as the season has worn on, injuries have happened. We are now seeing young edges getting more opportunity. We'll start in Miami, where Chop Robinson, if he keeps up this current pace, Addy, from his past 4 games, I think he's going to be in the mix for the Defensive Rookie of the Year crown. Chop had another 1.5 sacks on Sunday afternoon, taking both his season and last 4 game tally to 3.5 sacks. He has the Jets twice and the Texans on his remaining schedule. I think he could easily double that 3.5 sack total before the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised to see him do that. And he does seem to be like one of those types, right? Like he's an athletic freak, always has like a good pressure rate. And yeah, I mean, you love to see him start his career this way and get an opportunity this early. So
yeah, and Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. We talked about Chop. What was that going to look like there? Phillips' injury kind of clears the lane. Now we do have weird news broke today.
Shaq Barrett.
With Shaq Barrett coming back to the Miami Dolphins. So
that helped too. Yeah, Shaq Barrett getting out of the way.
Yeah,
we just didn't think there was really much of a path for Chop.
I don't think Chop is ceding snaps at this point to Shaq Barrett.
No, yeah, you love to see him do this with his opportunity, and yeah, he's going to be there and get snaps from here on out. And I've moved him up in the dynasty ranks. I think I have him inside the top 24 as far as edge rushers go.
I think that feels about right.
So yeah, I mean he's like 22. Like it's him and Dallas Turner, the two young edges. So yeah, I feel great about him. And then yeah, I mean he's in a great spot. I mean those guys that are around him are all like probably not going to be as good as they were because they're all coming back from major injuries.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean Chop is really looking like the best piece there in Miami as far as pass rushers go.
Yep, agreed. Another rookie that we had hopes for this rookie season. We always mention first year, we just want to see flashes. Find a way to get on the field, make some splash plays, show some growth. That's what the rookie season is all about. Leatu Latu, another example of that. Back-to-back games with a sack for the Colts rookie edge rusher. Leatu Latu, for the first time in his young career, he started slow, 2 sacks through his first 10 games. He's doubled that total the past 2 weeks. Week 12 also marked his best game of the season in terms of PFF grading, 86.7 overall, 90.8 pass rush grade. I think the Colts, that was a tough loss Sunday. You kind of figured that was coming. This is a team I think is going to continue to scrap and claw and try their best to get that 7 spot in the AFC wildcard race, but I think Latu, like I mentioned last episode, Addy, we're going to see more of Latu, not less, I think, as the season goes on. He's heating up, and that's what you like to see.
He's a stud, and yeah, he's always been a stud. Like just because he wasn't collecting the sacks, like there was no doubt over here. Like he's not left the he's not been outside the top 10 edge rushers for us in Dynasty this entire year. So yeah, have not been concerned. And that his best football is ahead of him. But dude's really, really good. Like I've been super impressed with him. Again, I'm not concerned with sacks year 1. Even like the advanced metrics, I'm not really that concerned with. But
he looked good though. 14.8% win rate, 18.5% pressure rate with 5 pressures and a sack on 60% of snaps.
Yeah, love to see it.
That makes you feel good.
Don't want to see like a 5% pressure rate, but like if it's like 10, 11%, like I'm not scared.
There's a certain threshold we want him to clear.
Yeah.
But we don't need to see 15, 16, 17% pressure rate rookie year.
Right. Like you look back at like most of the big guys. Like Nick Bosa, I don't think was really anything prolific year 1. Jalen Phillips wasn't. Will Anderson was, I think, pretty solid year one. So, but again, it's like it's very hit or miss. Like I'm not banking too much into that first year. But yeah, so Latu he's going to be an asset you want for a while.
Yeah, I love it. Tyree Wilson, though. You love to see this, Addy.
Sure.
You are a Tyree Wilson stan from way back in the day. For the first time in his career, Tyree Wilson has sacks in back-to-back games. Now, he's still playing less than 50% of snaps, but this turn of production is starting to look a little appealing.
Looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as juiced up about Tyree Wilson as I probably once was. But this is positive stuff, right? I mean, I wish the snaps were a little healthier, but the fact that we're seeing production finally, I mean, the guy still is super young. The guy is still, I think, going to take a little bit. Like this was the thing with Tyree Wilson was it was always going to be like year 3, year 4 with him before we really started seeing like a glimpse at what he was. So yeah, I mean, I think year 3, year 4 is going to be when we really know more. But I mean, he's probably pretty cheap right now.
I was going to say, we're going to talk Dynasty Stashes later in the episode, but, I mean, Tyree Wilson, you could do worse than a number 7 overall pick.
Yeah, I still feel good about him long term. Again, like the dude is enormous, like 6'5", 6'6", I think.
I'll always
Crazy
just
wingspan.
take a swing on crazy first percentile, or I guess 99th percentile, however you want to look at it, top 1% athlete.
Yeah, just massive humans that are fast. And young, But, yeah, I mean, Tyree Wilson wasn't that productive in college, so I don't know that he'll ever be like an elite level asset for us as far as edge rushers go. But, I mean, he can be useful. Like, could he get over 10 sacks a couple times in his career? Yeah, I think so.
Could he be a nice little late round best ball target?
Yeah.
Few seasons?
I like him definitely more in best ball.
Yeah, better in best ball. Hey, those guys are useful too. Lucas Van Ness, another young edge rusher, collected his second sack of the season on a superb bull rush on Sunday afternoon. He was highly touted coming out of Iowa last year, yet has only played sparingly in his first 2 seasons. Green Bay did move Preston Smith to Pittsburgh at the trade deadline, and while originally he was firmly behind Kingsley Enikbare in Week 11, Enikbare did see those snaps cut in half in Week 12. So more Van Ness could be on the menu after he posted a 93.8 PFF pass rush grade in Week 12. We said that Van Ness was one of the big winners of the Preston Smith trade, Addy. Kingsley Enikbare was standing in the way, but it looks like we may be getting more Lucas Van Ness in the future. Yeah,
Van Ness will be the guy I would bet on there to eventually emerge. I mean, measurables as far as that stuff goes, like he's got everything you want. 6'5", 272, 9.39 RAS. Was like what, drafted 15th overall, 16th overall, something like that. Yeah, he's and this is year 3. He's just 23 years of age. So I mean, yeah, I know it hasn't been bonkers to start, but like again, like we could look up at this guy, is a Zach Allen type for us in a couple of years. Like I think that's in his range. That's the type of player that I think he could be. And, Zach Allen wasn't looked at as some stud right out the gate, right? Like, it takes a little bit of time for these guys. Like, give these guys till they're, like, 25, 26, I think, before you really write them off.
Yeah, this is just a second year, Eddie. This is just year 2.
Year 2.
Year 2 for Lucas Van Ness. So, he kind of is like a diet version of Tyree Wilson for me. Big, strong, athletic, fast. Those guys just, don't grow on trees. There's a reason these dudes get selected in the first round. Yeah, 6'5", 272 pounds. Yeah. Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Big boy.
Big boy, and also was like a project type too.
Exactly.
Like Tyree. Like both those guys were not very productive in college. Like, I remember hearing all that stuff. Like, it could take a little bit of time for these guys to develop, and that's kind of what we're seeing.
There's a reason that you saw him get drafted to a team with Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith and even Kingsley Enikbare. Same thing with Tyree Wilson, goes to a team with Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz.
Yeah, and Malcolm Kuntz is a free agent, so, Tyree Wilson should have a large role next year.
I think he would get first crack at that job.
I would think so.
You would hope.
It's going to be him and Max probably.
It might be a new coaching staff.
Yeah, and they could bring someone to into the draft and whatnot. It's a long off season, but yeah, for the most part, I think that it's setting up pretty well for his third year, which is all we can really ask for at this point.
Well, setting up well for Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. Brandon Graham, one of my favorites, torn tricep, I believe it was. Really such a bummer because you saw him in that, Sunday Night Football game, just have, I think, a sack or two. Yeah, he had 4 pressures and 1 sack. Really nice game from Brandon Graham. Tears the tricep.
He's like 34.
And what sucks
35.
is now he may change his mind because of this injury, but this was his last year. He had announced before the season he was retiring. So you hate for Brandon Graham if that remains true to go out on an injury like that.
That sucks, especially when this team is surging.
Yeah,
The
this
defense
team
is
has
really starting to click.
This team has Super Bowl aspirations.
Oh yeah.
And so the downside, obviously, for Brandon Graham is, will he continue his career? He doesn't get to finish out the season with a red-hot team. Upside, Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith should see increased playing time. Also a factor in this, Bryce Huff, Vic Fangio's least favorite player in NFL history, placed on injured reserve with a wrist injury.
Yeah. Did not work out well for Huff there. Hate to see it.
Probably the biggest bust.
Big
of
old bust.
2024.
Next to Dallas Turner.
Yeah, exactly. Bunch of bums. We
Sure.
should have known.
Sure. And Cole Bishop, another big old bust.
It's because of them sleeves. He's not aerodynamic.
Sure. Jalix Hunt, though, he's fun. That's a fun name to drop here. And he's interesting. I mean, he was their third-round pick, 9.22 RAS. He is 6'3", 252. So, yeah, I mean, he was a guy that I was kind of interested in. He's probably out there on your waiver wire. He's someone you should pick up, So, and also Philly does a good job of I know that Bryce Huff is on everyone's mind, but they usually do a pretty good job of finding these gems, right? Like Brandon Graham, that's such an underrated player, but he's been good for a long time. Josh Sweat, same type thing. So yeah, I mean, we could look up and Jalix Hunt is the next one of those, right?
Never know.
Never know.
I'll trust teams that have a track record
Yeah.
of drafting certain positions very well.
Yeah. And then Nolan Smith, I mean, I like that we've seen, some flashes out of him this season. Feel like we should have seen more.
I kind of wonder where they want to play him too, because when maybe Nakobe Dean was out, they had, I think, Nolan Smith playing a little linebacker, a little off-ball linebacker.
Yeah, he does seem he is
a little
undersized.
bit of a tweener type.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if maybe.
But he's still super young too, man. They've got a good problem to have with a lot of these young guys that haven't really broken out yet. There's a lot of upside there with that room. The interior is great.
Yeah, Nolan Smith is only 6'2", 238.
Yeah,
That's more off-ball linebacker size than
edge
rusher size.
Milton Williams had a nice little game for him.
Had a hell of a game.
That was nice, and they were talking good about him. He's also going to be a free agent, so that's someone that I'm excited to see go somewhere else potentially and get away from Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis.
He's going to sign a 3-year, $45 million deal and stick with Philly.
I
That's
hope
just
not.
how these things go.
I think he's going to go be the DT1 somewhere.
I hope so.
So I like Milton Williams. That's someone that you should probably add to.
Jalen Carter and the other guy.
Davis.
Yeah. That makes it kind of – I know Philly likes to build through the trenches and just have a bunch of these guys, but
Yeah.
it feels like you really can't prioritize Milton Williams when you've got 2 other humongous dudes there already.
No, and they got a lot of other guys to pay and
Because Zach Bond's expiring, right?
Yep. We'll talk about him.
Yeah, we'll talk about not
Cooper
only
DeJean's been a revelation though.
Dude,
It really
so
once he was
excited.
inserted into the lineup. That's really when that defense
Truly did.
changed.
Yes. And Nakobe Dean really established himself as that LB2.
Yeah,
he has
great too.
totally revitalized his dynasty value.
Yeah, but I think Cap DeJean is CB1.
I mean, that makes sense. Kick and punt return upside. Or what does he do, kick or punt? I can't remember.
I don't know, but it doesn't even matter. He's playing in the slot now, and he's he's
uber athletic.
He's a good tackler.
Slot cornerback.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Playmaker. I have him as CB1. I have Cooper DeJean, and that's DB4. So it's Brian Branch, Kyle Hamilton, Antoine Winfield, Cooper DeJean, and that's player overall 20.
Okay. Playmaker type.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of like, I mean, as far as Dynasty goes, there's really not a lot of pieces that are going to get me that excited, right? Cooper DeJean is one of those pieces.
I took him in the 4th round, I think, of our rookie draft. I was like, I don't know that I like tying myself to a cornerback.
And you were
on
happy.
Guaranteed money. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me wonder, like, is this maybe a little bit of a cheat code here?
I mean, I did it last year with Witherspoon.
Grab you a little $800K a year 4th round rookie corner who's locked into your lineup each week.
Yeah, we've been blessed with
yes, we have
some good ones here recently.
Yes, we have.
But yeah, I people are sleeping on him, man. Like if you have like a stud at that position, and they're going to be manning that slot, and also they get the bonus of the return yards.
Because that's the role I want. When I look at corner, I really just want those slot guys, man.
Yeah.
There's other guys that can do it, not from the slot, but when you have that slot role, that just, to me, screams production. Consistent production. We've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, especially like over like the last 3 or 4 years. Like there's been like been like a league-wide thing where it's like, oh yeah, we really teams are like looking for these slot corners now. They're looking for these type of players that are, aggressive and physical and play closer. And
we saw it revitalize Jalen Petre's career.
They're like a mix between safety and corner.
Yes.
These type players.
Kenny Moore, obviously, Teron Johnson, L'Jarius Sneed / Trent McDuffie, whoever had that role.
Nate Hobbs for a stretch.
Yeah, like that's just where you want your players to line up, is closer to the ball to make more plays. #blessed, though, Addy. You mentioned with rookie cornerbacks coming into the league. We could also say the same about Christian Barmore coming back into our lineups and coming back onto the field for the New England Patriots. Returned last week. We welcomed him back into the sack column in Week 12. He had a career year in 2023 with 8.5 sacks. So anything he can do to build from that will be welcomed with open arms after it was thought he wouldn't play all year at one point due to blood clots. Just wanted to take a moment and say welcome back, Christian Barmore.
Good stuff.
I know John Macri is doing a happy dance right now that Barmore is back.
Yeah, Barmore was so good last season. And, it seems like he's good to go now.
Good to go.
So, yeah, I mean, I think you can treat this guy as like a top 7 defensive tackle option for you rest of the way. So, good stuff. Happy for him. That's always scary stuff when you talk about blood clots.
Yeah, so. You're just like, because you don't know. You just don't know. You don't know what that timetable looks like.
It was a long time. Jesus. I mean, that's,
start of the season.
Yeah.
Right before the season started. So that would have been
3-4 months.
Early September.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting here, almost 3 full months later. So
yeah,
happy he's back and happy for IDP managers who held on to him. I'm sure it felt good to activate him off of IR and stick him into your lineup. So
that's a really good defense, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see him and Keon White play alongside each other because Keon White's having a nice little breakout himself. So, yeah, they're really good, man. Those 2 guys are great, and then they're always like just underrated, like the entire cast, that whole team. A bunch of just like cast-offs.
Yeah, no real studs.
No one knows who any of those guys are.
Just a good.
But they all play really
well together.
Yeah.
Yep. And you may have a quarterback with Drake May. You probably need a new head coach.
Yeah.
I think Gerard Mayo's a big old dummy, but
yeah, for sure. And you need some receivers. But yeah, you've
got something to build off of. You've got
a good quarterback. You got a really good edge rusher and defensive tackle. So I mean, yeah, those are nice little blocks.
That's an appealing job for sure. Seattle linebackers past and present. We have Christmas coming up. You have, the ghost of Christmas past, Christmas future, Christmas present. That's kind of what it feels like with the Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk about a few linebackers who have been attached to Seattle this season. Tyrese Knight, is he the LB of the future for the Seattle Seahawks? He's played 2 games since taking over for the released Tyrell Dodson. He's collected 19 tackles and 30-plus points in those 2 starts, while also playing 81% of the snaps in both games. Ernest Jones is still far and away the LB you want in Seattle if you have to choose between them, but the impact and usage of Knight are encouraging in a vacuum. Over in Miami, speaking of Tyrell Dodson, did play for the first time in a Dolphins uniform this season and played 70% of the snaps and also called plays after Anthony Walker left early with a hamstring injury. what is going on with these former Seattle linebackers going and like putting the pin in the voodoo doll of the linebacker ahead of him? Because we just saw this last week with Jerome Baker slowly starting to take snaps from Jack Gibbons. Then Jack Gibbons gets hurt, and now Jerome Baker, formerly of Seattle as well, firmly entrenched as the LB2 in Tennessee after the Gibbons injury. Only managed 3 tackles against Houston in Week 12. As John Macri pointed out in his Week 12 IDP Fantasy Football Report, Jerome Baker has historically finished near the bottom of the list in his tackles versus expected metrics. So not a good tackler, but he is on the field 100% of snaps.
Yeah, and he'll get some sacks, big plays. He's like a poor man DeMario Davis.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
A homeless man, DeMario Davis.
there we go. He's fine though.
Hey, at this point in the season, if somebody's playing 100% of snaps, he's probably in your damn lineup.
Yeah. I mean, also like Kenneth Murray's like playing really well right now too. Like he's had back to back.
I think he had him a pick.
Yeah. So I mean, that team's
That team's something.
they're going to be out there a lot. I mean, they're going to have opportunities to make plays. So
That team is a team.
they are certainly a team.
They are one of the 32 teams in the NFL.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's the rumor. We got another great. I love Will Levis for all the stupid pictures that come out of, like all the stupid memes that come out of his games. Did you see the one from this week? He threw that pick and then just went head down and just was running full speed like a robot to try to tackle whoever it was that pick sixed him.
It's like he in on it at this point. Like does he
know?
Is he trying to?
Because he's on like a Trump level run of just like iconic photos at this point. I mean, this season will be remembered as the Will Levis meme season.
Oh yeah.
And I could not be happier because you had the surrender cobra from Week 1. You had him flipping the ball as he was getting smashed in Week 2. You had him doing the Dawson's Creek crying meme when he was getting his ankle squeezed on. So God bless Will Levis. He is like sort of in the same. He's like a cousin of Jameis Winston in that it's unintentional comedy, but just in a different way.
Yeah.
Like it's embarrassment.
But there's people talking about like, oh, he's playing better, so maybe they're talking themselves into like another year of Levis.
God, I hope not.
Surely not.
No.
They're going to be picking high.
No. Like, if you want to set him down on the bench and let him be a backup and see if what happens.
I've been hearing that lately, though.
Yeah, you need to hear less of that. You need to hear less of that.
People are saying it.
Well, new sheriff in LB1 town after Week 12. For the majority of the season, it's been Fred Warner and Zach Bond as LB1 and 2. That's flipped immensely in the past 2 weeks. New king of the castle, Frankie Luvu, put up 23.5 points this past week by Big 3, scoring without a sack, thanks to 3 passes defended and a TFL to go with 8 total tackles. Addy, I wrote up, along with Evan Ringler, in the offseason, 10 IDPs we can't stop drafting. Frankie Luvu was on that list for this exact reason, right? We talk about, tackle monsters are nice because it's a consistent floor for production. But what really gives you that kind of top 3 LB, sort of like league-winning type of upside, are big plays. Frankie Luvu, master of that.
Yep. Yeah, and when it's someone like Frankie Luvu, like they're so good at it and like so consistent at it, like they're not leaving your lineup anyway. So it's like, even if they do have a bust week, like whatever. It's not like, I didn't have a better option than Frankie Luvu. But, I mean, this is his 3rd year pretty much of doing the damn thing,
Ever since they rolled him out for like 1 series in preseason and put him in bubble wrap for the Panthers.
Yeah.
I think we got 2 seasons in Carolina and then Washington now.
So, yeah, we can trust him at this point. Like, we can, I think he's, a top 15 dynasty linebacker.
Yeah.
Like, even though he's like 28, 29 at this point.
There's just not a lot of linebackers that have that playmaking upside that Frankie Luvu has.
Yeah. And just the fact that he's getting it done consistently and still playing at a very high level and like playing on a good defense, and he's under contract for another 2 years after the season, right?
Yeah, it was a 3-year deal, I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, he's going to be very relevant and somebody that you want on your roster. So
So
go trade for Luvu if you can. This is a fine time. Like if you're a contender, like if you're looking for a linebacker to maybe put you over the top, like,
that you could LB1 right now by our scoring.
Yeah,
So I would say
he's the type you could
do worse, but you couldn't do better right now.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, he had a little bit of a season there in 2021, but really his breakout was 2022 for the Panthers. 271 points, 239 points this year through 12 games, 193 points. So I think he's going to be on pace to finish somewhere between those two Carolina years that were really his booms.
Yeah, so he should be better than last year.
I would think so. I mean, that's only, 45 more points?
Yeah.
In the next
6 weeks.
6 weeks to pass that? Oh, yeah.
He'll get that easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to threaten his best year ever.
This could be his best year ever, which is just a lot of fun. Frankie Luvu was just awesome.
What's he at sack? I mean, is he at 5, 6 sacks already?
7 sacks on the season.
Oh, damn, dude. So he's having
It's tied his career high.
Wow.
7 sacks in 2022.
Having him a Devin White type year.
79 tackles already, 111 tackles that year in Carolina. So he'll get that as well.
So, yeah, career numbers across the board, it seems. So
love it.
That's great stuff.
Good stuff from Frankie Luvu. Good stuff from Myles Garrett, Thursday Night Football. You were a big fan of the post-game interview where Myles Garrett was like, DN1, that runs through me.
Oh, I love that.
Defensive Player of the Year, that runs through me. All respect to TJ Watt, but that's me.
Yeah, talk your shit, Miles. I mean, also, like, did J.J. Watt tweet about it, I'm sure. You know, like he has to defend his brother about every little thing. So I'm sure that I missed that, but I'm sure that's out there.
All I know about J.J. Watt is if I see his Dick's Sporting Goods commercial one more time, I'm going to put my head through my television.
Yeah, that one is – they like that one. They play that one a whole lot.
Well, now I saw – it's just been a year of, like, let's find the former players who can handle themselves relatively well on mic and just run them into the ground between Pat McAfee, Jason Kelsey, and J.J. Watt. And now Jason Kelsey's wife has a podcast. Like,
yeah, Travis Kelsey's on a lot of stuff too.
It's just like
the Kelsey boys, man. Jeez,
Travis Kelsey's hosting "Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity?" Like this kind of the revival of like "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?" Like, do we really?
Those guys.
Do we need all this? Like,
kind of
better in small doses. I don't know that I want them. This turned up.
They're not that I mean, they're funny guys. They're funny football players, but it's like they're not that interesting.
Exactly in the context that we're talking about.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean they're interesting to this degree.
Right.
You know, in the context of football players, yeah, they are really entertaining, very good on mic and on camera, but in the real world, like in the large, if you pull the aperture back just a little bit, it's like these guys are like 6s, not 10s.
Yeah, I'll do an hour a week with these guys.
Yeah.
But you want me to do like 4 or 5 hours a week? It'd be like people wanting to, it'd be like us doing like 5 shows a week. People are going to get sick of us.
Yes, but like I hate these guys.
Yeah.
It's just overexposure.
Why do they keep doing more episodes?
Yeah, but anyways, Myles Garrett is awesome.
He's pretty good.
Hopefully you didn't sell low on Myles Garrett. Ever since that kind of started popping up in the streets a little bit. 6 sacks, 2 40-point games.
Every year with that stuff, there's always people out there with the takes,
DL7 the last 4 years, guys, on average.
Yeah.
So just shut up. TJ Watt was a little quiet, but it's TJ.
Does he suck?
Yeah, it's like just
he's been very quiet lately. But yeah, you know
it's coming.
You know, a 4-sack game is just around the corner.
What do we think is coming with Nick Herbig though? No Alex Highsmith. Nick Herbig got in, got some meaningful snaps, stamped his mark on the game, strip sack. He has now surpassed his sack total from last year through 7 games. He's been kind of in and out of the lineup with injuries this year. Both Watt and Highsmith are under contract through 2025 at the minimum. So I kind of see him from a dynasty context as like one of the highest. There's not often like edge handcuffs like there are linebacker handcuffs, but Highsmith is probably at the top of that list for me because I don't think he's going to play over either of those two guys. I think if those two guys are healthy, you're looking at like 35 to 40% of snaps for Herbig. But if either of those guys go down with injury, which they do quite often, he slides right in as the replacement.
Yeah. He's his time's coming, right? It's just like Leo Chenal, if you're looking for like the linebacker equivalent. Like we know that he's going to get an opportunity to be, an edge 1, edge 2 at some point. It just may be a couple years. But also, like if there's an injury, like oh my god, like like what we're seeing now. Like if he's on your team, like you should be probably playing him. Like the dude has just massive upside and makes plays. And
let's say Highsmith is kind of in and out of the lineup the rest of the year, and Herbig just balls. Couldn't you see a situation where maybe Highsmith starts to get floated a little bit as a trade candidate next offseason?
Oh yeah,
or even start of next season?
I think so, but I mean I think it's just it's a good problem to have.
It is. It's a great problem to have.
We always do that stuff. Like, they don't need him. Like they definitely it's a long ass season.
It is. It's good to have a guy
they
like
have
a Herbig.
TJ Watt who's not getting any younger.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's probably more the TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Long-term replacement plan.
And I think you kind of I don't know. I kind of like him being there, like learning right now, learning from these just all-timers, you know. It's not just TJ Watt. He's got Cam Hayward there.
Cam Hayward, legend.
And, learn how these guys work and just, I mean, it's invaluable stuff for a young guy. But, yeah, Herbig, I mean, we've been calling him Herbig for since the jump pretty much.
I think my rule until either of these guys is out of the way permanently is if Watt or Highsmith are ruled out, I think you can roll Herbig out with confidence.
I think so.
It depends on the situation. In a start 2 DN kind of league, he's probably in the mix. But in a start 4 DL, I think he's an auto start in leagues like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think he would be
he's a
no-brainer.
Yeah, I think he's like a top 36 option.
Exactly. I think he's a no-brainer DN3.
Yep.
So if you're only starting 2, he's probably not cracking your lineups a whole lot. But
unless it's like a really good matchup.
Exactly. Yeah, if he's playing like the Titans or the Commanders,
then he's like a top 15 option.
Texans. Yeah, whoever these teams giving up, just go look at sort by sacks allowed and just start those guys.
Yep.
I mean, we saw Mike Wohlert, shout out, had Daniil Hunter as his edge 1 in his rankings going against the Tennessee Titans, finished as edge 1 in week 12. So,
Van Ginkel did the same thing the week before, right?
Yep.
So
just play those matchups, baby.
Ain't that tough, guys.
Panthers IDP showing signs of life, Addy. DJ Wanham reinstated from the PUP list in week 10. When factoring in the Panthers bye week in week 11, he's averaging just under 21 points per game thanks to 8 pressures and 2 sacks in those 2 games. He won't keep up his sack-a-game pace, but the underlying metrics are strong, and he had a career-high 8 sacks last season with the Vikings before tearing his quad in week 16. Elsewhere, Josie Jewell picked up where he left off before the week 11 bye with another 20-point game thanks to 9 tackles and 1 sack. Since returning from injury in week 8, Jewell has totaled 31 tackles, 3 TFLs, 2 PDs, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 INT in 4 games to give him an average of 16.09 points per game on 100% of snaps in that span. Addy, the Panthers gave the Chiefs all they could handle, showing signs of life. This team is not just like a deadbeat, doormat, lifeless franchise. And they've got some IDPs that, man, little interesting, especially Josie Jewell.
Yeah, definitely Josie Jewell. And we kind of saw that one coming this year. Like, he was someone that I think I said was going to be top 12 in points per game. That was one of the little mini flag plants, I think. So, kind of saw that coming. I feel great about him. He should be like a top 20 option for you the rest of the way. And then DJ Wanham, like he deserves a little bit of respect. He was really, really good last year in Minnesota. Played a ton of snaps, also produced. And then, I mean, he's doing the same thing now in Carolina. Like he's also already playing a ton of snaps. So, yeah, I think he's a really, really good option. Him and Clowney are both fine. And you're right. I mean, it does seem like that team is a little inspired right now. They just got Adam Thielen back. Bryce Young is, I think, looking okay. Looking definitely, they definitely feel better about him than they did.
Hey, the key was just to bench your, top 5 overall pick at quarterback for a couple weeks just to revitalize his confidence.
Everybody's doing it.
Thanks, Andy Dalton, for getting in that car crash.
Yeah, but yeah, it's these are usable pieces, I think, at this point in the season. And Wanham's there for a couple years, so I mean, he could be a fine dynasty piece for the next couple years. So yeah, I like old Wicca.
DJ Wanham?
Yeah, he's solid, and he plays a ton, dude.
I mean, he's gonna be there, right? It's like,
yeah,
who else is there?
It's him and Clowney.
Yeah.
And And then Ashawn Robinson's also been playing really well as of late. Like he's been soaking up a ton of tackles and also like getting some sacks and stuff. I don't know how much we should rely on the sack part of it, but I mean, he's basically like the Derek Brown there this season.
That's right. Derek Brown gone. So who's the replacement? Next guy up, Ashawn Robinson.
Yep.
Come on down. All right, so Addy, that's week 12 in the books. Let's talk some dynasty stashes, some pending free agents, which will kind of segue nicely into some of the stashes because there's a couple ways to look at who to stash, right? If you're in a shallower league, we've seen it this year with guys like Deion Henley, Dorian Williams, Jack Campbell, get their opportunity when the shine was off of these guys a little bit at various points in the offseason and coming into this year. But now all have surged to the forefront for various reasons. And so one approach is if you're in a shallower league, go look at this year's rookie quarterbacks and stash them if they're out there on waivers or maybe the manager's not holding too tightly to these guys. Your Edgerrin Coopers, your Peyton Wilsons, Junior Colson, just those sorts of guys from this year's class that really haven't shown us much yet.
Yeah, the ones that definitely are like not producing. And maybe people are throwing around the B word a little bit.
Ooh, beautiful.
Not that one.
Bust? Not big old bust.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Yeah, Junior Colson is one that comes to mind because we haven't gotten to see really anything from
Right.
Junior Colson because of the injury.
But it feels like he is going to get his opportunity at some point.
He was the one I was most excited about, and I think if he had been fully healthy, the appendectomy, I think, was just threw him behind the 8 ball. And I think Deion Henley is a good linebacker.
No, I do too, man.
So that is, but I think it'll be Colson and Henley next year once
That's a fun.
once Colson gets a full offseason.
It's a fun little unit, fun young unit. So
Yes, it is.
That'll be a good group.
So go stash rookies if you're in a shallower league. If you're in a deeper league, we had some names that you threw out here. Jalen Carleys from the Colts.
Yeah.
You've got, I believe, I think Zaire's under contract, but I believe EJ Speed may be expiring.
EJ Speed, Saguna Luby,
Okay.
and then Grant Sturad, right?
Yeah,
the
Grant Stewart is also expiring.
Stewart, yes, the hair guy.
Yes, the hair guy.
20 tackle.
Yeah, the 20 tackle random. Should we get this guy? It's like, no, probably not. It's just EJ Speed and Zaire Franklin. I do think they will bring EJ Speed back.
Yeah, probably
But
so.
these are the bets that you make. Just go grab the guy that's next in line just in case. Maybe EJ Speed gets the open market and gets 3 years 30 from some team, and the Colts only want to pay him 3 years 24,
You just never know.
You never know.
Stuff changes so fast, remember Shaq Leonard? Remember him?
Nope.
There was a
Don't know
time
who you're
there was
talking
a-
about.
There was a time where he was like,
I know Darius Leonard.
yeah, Darius Leonard.
Don't know who this Shaq that you're talking about.
Some people say that it's the same person, but I don't know.
I've
They
never
didn't, they
seen
didn't
him-
play like the same person.
I've never seen them on the same field together. I'll just say that.
True. But yeah, this stuff changes fast, and I don't know. I mean, he's free. He's free, and you can do worse. He was a 5th-round pick, former defensive back, convert. So
He's looked good when he's been on the field.
and then the PFF grades are really, really good. I mean, I know it's like limited sample size, but it was like
This could be, if there was ever someone in the archetype of like an EJ Speed, Jalen Carleys, I
Right.
think fits that bill. We mentioned rookie linebackers, Tommy Eichenberg, somebody I know you like. Really, the dynasty stash at linebacker is Leo Chenal.
yeah, no
Because
doubt.
this feels like the guy that's going to go somewhere, get out of the shadow, have that Bobby Okereke with the Giants first year kind of glow up, where it's like, now that I'm out of the shadow of the other more prominent linebackers on my previous team, you're going to see what I can do, and you're going to like what I can do. So I think Leo Chenal, if I'm power ranking these guys, is far and away number one.
Yeah, and he's just always like, if you look at like points per snap, he's always elite at it. And so it just always makes you think like, what can this dude do if he gets more snaps? If he was to get like a full-time, role, what will we see like production-wise? And I think he'd be pretty damn prolific. Like he seems to me like a 140 tackle type and then just loads of big plays. So just 24. I mean, like, again, like Nick Bolton's a UFA. Drew Tranquil is approaching 30 and has never been the healthiest guy. So, I mean, we could even see Leo Chenal have like a massive final year there in Kansas City, and maybe they extend him.
Do you think they bring Bolton back?
At this point, it kind of feels like no.
I think so too.
I mean, I feel like we would have already seen it by now, or like seen the extent. They would have already locked him up. And then it just hasn't been good for Bolton like the last couple of years. Like playoffs, I know he was banged up or whatever, but still, the dude was a liability in the playoffs. And then the play hasn't really been that great this year.
Yeah, I wanted to look at John's kind of right up here. He had a poor matchup, which was highlighted in his article last week. He's been a low-end LB2 at best this season. And John said that's unlikely to change much in the weeks to come. He'll be a fringe LB2-3. He hasn't been very effective this season, and the matchups haven't helped. So now that's for the IDP lens, right? I know the Chiefs love Nick Bolton, but
what they love Nick Bolton because he was productive, and he's not.
Right.
He's not
3
doing
tackles.
that.
Yep. Tackle efficiency 4.8% on 100% of snaps.
Yep.
So if you can go,
because I mean we can say like, oh, he looks great from a PFF lens. But if he's not producing, like it's that production still matters,
It does.
It still matters. Like people want to see that you're actually making plays and making things happen and making a difference.
I think he has enough name cachet that some dumb GMs out there might be like, oh, Nick Bolton's available. Let me go give this guy, 3 years, $48 million. And the Chiefs are like, okay, we'll just roll out Drew Tranquil and Leo Chenal.
And be way better as a defense.
Exactly. So I think there's a chance that we see Leo Chenal have relevancy in 2025 on the Chiefs. And then I think beyond that, this just feels like one of those situations where it's only a matter of time for Chenal.
Okay, I actually do have a few things pulled for Chenal. He was 0.283 points per snap in 2023. That was 9th among linebackers. He's 0.291 this season, so even better than last season when he was 9th. So
he does a lot with a little.
Yes.
He's never really gotten the snap share.
And I love those types.
That's what you want.
That's what I want to invest in, those types.
You have to be careful because it's like, okay, can he do more with more? But I'll take that bet.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have to pay a lot to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Sign me up for that.
His time's coming, and I think it's just like it's worth finding out with Chenal.
I think so too. You also highlighted Nate Watson. I think Mike actually brought up Nate Watson of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Because of the JOK injury. We're talking a little bit before we got on Mike. Y'all, that's not looking good. The phrasing out there right now from Mary Kay Cabot, great Browns beat reporter, is that the Browns are hopeful he'll be able to resume his playing career. So JOK, just an absolute gut punch. I hope we're not looking at another kind of Ryan Shazier type of situation where this injury ends his career. But Nate Watson, a stash for that reason. Cedric Gray, Tennessee Titans. Servassier Dennis, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even Jack Sanborn with the Bears. And then Jason King also brought up, D. Winters.
Winters is coming.
Yeah, Winters is coming. We did have that for about a week or two for potential payoff in 2025. Campbell's been bad and is on a one-year deal. Greenlaw's contract is also up after the season. I did see they're going to open up the IR return window for Dre Greenlaw.
Good deal. Hopefully he looks okay. I mean, probably be better than Devondre. So
probably. I think it's just over.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be short-lived. He was just a Band-Aid.
And I think Shanahan's like, all right, Dre Greenlaw, your window opens. The game is over now. Your window's opened right now.
They may just cut Devondre Campbell then.
Just right there. As soon as they elevate him to the full-time roster, I think maybe curtains for Devondre Campbell.
Yep.
So those are some linebacker stashes. Arn brought up in his article Yaya Diaby. We haven't seen the sacks. The metrics have been good. Underlying metrics. We've always been a Yaya Diaby fan. I think he got a little bit overdrafted this past year, but I think if you can buy low on Yaya, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Say yeah to that.
Yeah to that, of course. Yeah, pressure rate's been great for Yaya. So, and this is year 2 for him, so just calm down. It'll be all right. He'll be fine. One more guy I want to touch on, Dadrian Taylor Demerson.
Yes, sir.
Safety out of Arizona. The 4th-round rookie has started the last 2 games in place of Jalen Thompson, who was nursing an ankle injury he suffered in Week 9. Taylor Demerson has impressed with his opportunity, posting 15 tackles, 3 PDs, 1 TFL, scoring 15 points in Week 10 and 16.75 in Week 12. Jalen Thompson is under contract in 2025, but Arizona could save about $5.7 million in cap if they cut him. So, Buda Baker's also on. I think this is the last year of his deal, so he'll be a UFA. So I mean, there's a chance that Dadrian could be very relevant next season, and we're seeing him play really good right now with his opportunity. So yeah, he's someone that I was pretty high on out of Texas Tech, and yeah, I'm going to continue to be high on in Dynasty.
There you go. Love it. I think Baba, who was not able to be here tonight, wanted us to bring up Tyler Nubin.
He's been great. Also,
sitting as the rookie safety 1.
I do have something pretty cool on him, actually.
You got some stuff on Get You Nubin? I wanted to pull up the log as well.
I don't know what I did with it.
He's been good here. He's had a couple of down games, but 13, 16, 12, 8, 4, 3, but then 16 and 15 the last 2 weeks. So
I can't find it.
Not too bad.
I can't find it, but it was usage type stuff with him. His usage is really flipped. It's like he's playing like a lot more box and slot now. Like the first like 5 or 6 weeks, it was more free safety, probably like split.
Here we go. John has a little bit of a write-up on it in his article. Tyler Nubin's usage and production were highlighted last week in the rankings article. He led the team in tackles, 12, and played just over half of his snaps in the box. His role and ability to capitalize on that role has him top 12 consideration for the position the rest of the season.
Yeah, like the tackles were like 6 tackles per game, like the first 6 weeks, and then like it's been like 8 something the last 6. So
yeah, he's playing almost 70% of his snaps in the sweet spot.
There we go.
DL, box, and slot.
So yeah, just follow along to John. He's got it.
John's got it locked down there.
But Dubin's been great. Like you love to see that. Like he was, I think most people's safety 1. It wasn't mine, but like I recognize like he was the safest. I think he was the safest safety of the group.
See what he did there?
Yeah,
it's a professional right there, folks.
Pretty good stuff.
Pretty good
here,
stuff.
So.
Any other pending free agents? Any other stashes you want to bring up?
We can run through some big names real fast.
Yeah, who all? This is the time of year you kind of know if you're in the playoffs or not. So you kind of know if you're looking forward to 2025. This is one of the first things you want to be aware of. Which players are going to be free agents?
So Ernest Jones, he still doesn't have an extension with Seattle. We expect it to come, but who knows? I hope it comes. Otherwise, like he's
4 teams in 12 months is not great.
Feels like a bit of a falling knife. Zach Bond. It's kind of weird putting him high on one of these lists now, but like this dude is he's a stud.
He'll get re-signed by the Eagles. I would be shocked if they did not re-sign him.
Probably so. And that'll be good for his value. I think
Absolutely.
him and Dean having some
you want stability.
And
you want stability when the situation is good, right?
Yeah.
You want a change if the situation is like a Leo Chenal where it's like, all right, Bolton, get the hell out of there. Let's elevate Chenal, or let's get Chenal the hell out of there and go somewhere else, right?
Yeah. Buda Baker mentioned him. Jamin Sherwood, another guy that's balling the hell out, and I think is actually good. He's going to be a UFA. I could see him getting a nice little deal from somebody and continuing to be really relevant for us in IDP. Cam Bynum, he's a UFA. So, Minnesota doesn't really need him. They have 2 really good safeties. Theo Jackson's there. He's solid. So I could see Cameron Bynum leaving. Nick Bolton, we mentioned him. Jeremy Chin just signed a 1-year deal in Washington. Trevin Moehrig is actually a UFA as well. He's been playing great the last couple of seasons. Robert Spillane, that's why we kind of name dropped Tommy Eichenberg. Spillane is a UFA, and also Divine Diablo, I believe, is a UFA as well.
Wow. Think maybe they re-signed one, but probably not both of those guys.
Before the season started, I figured like Spillane definitely gets re-signed, but with the way things are going, it's like they may just let them all go.
They might clean house and just completely turn the whole thing over.
Yeah, I could see that happening. But either way, I think Spillane will get a contract somewhere and still be really good for us. So he's like a Josie Jewell type. Like I feel good about him. He's gonna be fine. Solid linebacker. EJ Speed, you mentioned him. Aziz Ojulari is a free agent. Javon Holland, Malcolm Kuntz, it's a shame we didn't get to see much of him this season, but I hope he gets a decent little deal in the offseason. Khalil Mack's a UFA. Kaiser White, Josh Sweat.
Arrow up Thule.
Exactly, arrow up Thule. And then Joey Bosa, we'll get to him in a second. I also did some dead cap research as well. They could save a ton of money cutting Joey Bosa. Josh Sweat is a UFA. He's been solid and good. He got banged up this last week, so I don't know how serious it was or if he returned, but hopefully he's okay. He's been good. He's been really good as of late. Byron Murphy out of Minnesota, cornerback there. The cornerback version of Byron Murphy.
The cornerback version, yes, not the DL version.
He's been really good though. He's been, and especially like IDP, like he's so slept on, but I think he's going to have like another top 20 finish at corner this year. Dre Greenlaw, he's going to be UFA.
Hence D. Winters.
Right. Hassan Reddick, that's worked out really good. Well,
all-time bungle in terms of contract mismanagement.
Yeah, and it's like, man, power to the players. Like it worked for Hassan Reddick. Like he missed the entire year almost.
Now, what you could say is going to kill him is you did not get the kind of career, not saving performance, but elevating performance, because now you're going back into free agency, coming off of this massive headache that you caused for the New York Jets, having your worst season yet. You're a year older. So ultimately, yeah, maybe you got a little bit of a, vacation for 2024, but you might have just killed yourself for 2025 and beyond.
Sounded like it was already over for him anyway, just he's able to get a little bit more cash, and that'll probably be it for, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe
somebody will take a flyer.
Yeah, maybe he finds happiness.
But he's not getting another.
He'll get a 1 year.
He'll get a Jadeveon Clowney type of deal, right? 1 year, less than 10.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like, come on in. 1 year 8, 1 year 9, 1 year 6 with incentives up to 10, something like that, right?
Yeah, and then maybe you can get a 2 year 20.
Yeah,
the next year
you can use it to kind of springboard into something else.
But yeah, I think it's pretty much over for Hassan Reddick as far as like being a piece that we're really excited about. He'll have some moments, but I don't know that we're going to see him get over 9 sacks again.
You know who could probably use his services? The Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, they could.
A little reunion, maybe.
They could. Although Zaven season, pretty solid.
Zaven,
He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good this year. Some more UFAs: Jason Pinnock, Honey Badger, Chase Young, Patrick Jones. So we could see maybe some more Dallas Turner in year 2. Justin Reed, Baron Browning, Bobby Wagner, Levante David, Eric Kendricks.
Did you end up investing in Baron Browning's next contract?
I did not, thank God.
I don't think that's going to be a good ROI.
Yeah, it's a shame. But cool idea. Maybe other players, better players, will do it someday.
Well, like who was the guy that got paid in Bitcoin that's looking like a damn genius now?
Bitcoin. Congrats to everybody out there with the diamond hands.
I was in Poopcoin.
Yeah.
And Dogecoin.
Doge. I had some Doge for a bit there.
I'm broke now.
That was a fun time.
My family lives in this shack.
We were all learning about crypto for a stretch there.
A lot of learning. A lot of regret.
Some other names: Justin Simmons. Akeem Davis Gaither. I've always been kind of like a fan of him. He's
low key stan.
A little bit of a low key fan. I think he has the captain patch,
Does he now?
I think so.
Is this a Zaire Franklin situation?
Which is kind of cool, like considering like you have Jermaine Pratt and you have Logan Wilson. I'm pretty sure like he's.
I'm gonna look this up while you're talking.
I think he is, but yeah, he's gonna be a UFA. And you never know. He could get an opportunity, or at least maybe go be a LB2 somewhere. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. But
He is a captain, first-time captain.
How about that?
There you go. Keem
So,
Davis Gaither.
you like that. You like those like intangible things. Like you hope that maybe he can parlay that into.
Put it in the damn ranks, Addy. What are we waiting on?
I should. Oh, Milton Williams. He's on this list. I like him quite a
Milton
bit.
Williams could go make an outrageous amount of money.
Yeah, he's
in free agency.
He's had kind of a slow year as far as like production goes, but he's definitely back on the radar now for I think most folks. So
I'm just saying NFL purposes. I think teams are going to be tripping over themselves. I think
I agree.
That guy that casual fans are like Milton Williams just got like 3 years, $54 million.
Yeah, it'd be like the Bryce Huff last season.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is this contract?
Yeah. There's a lot of people on this list, though, but those are like the main ones.
We'll do a little write-up. We'll do a write-up for the website looking at expiring free agents to be and maybe some stashes that could result from these guys potentially being on new teams.
Some dead cap real fast.
Yes, dead cap me.
I figure you'd like the stuff, people getting cut.
Yes, jobs being lost,
Right.
families being uprooted.
Joey Bosa, they could save $25 million. They cut him, so he gone.
He gone.
So that defense is going to look totally different next season.
Be fun, though, man.
Should be fun.
Thule,
yeah. Young
Dayon,
guys,
Junior Colson,
fired
Derwin.
up
Let's
young
go.
guys. Jonathan Allen, they could save $17 million.
He gone.
So there you go. There's some Johnny Newton glow up.
Yep.
I haven't been keeping up with him. Has he been doing okay lately?
I think he's doing the best he can. That's all we can ask for.
Hope for the best for him. Old Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Grady Jarrett, they could say Atlanta could save $16 million cutting him. Leonard Williams is on this list, but I think he probably stays. They could save $12 million, but I feel like he's
That's probably one of those where it's like on
right at
paper it makes sense, but you see a 3-sack performance from him or whatever last night.
yeah. Von Miller,
This past week.
they could save 8.5 cutting him, so he's probably gone. He's like 35 now and seems like a bad person. Marlon Humphrey, they could save $8.4 million. He's doing really good, like IDP wise, but I don't know like how, if he's an actual good corner anymore. He's dealt with a ton of injuries. He's getting up there in age. Clowney, they could free up 8, cutting him. Samson Ebicam, they could save 8, so he's
Probably gone.
Probably gone with what they have there at depth, and like he's I think
He
approaching
was
32.
Achilles, right?
Yeah, Alex Singleton, they could save $6 million cutting him. Jalen Thompson talked about him earlier, 5.7 if they cut him. Donovan Wilson, 5.3. DeMarcus Walker, 5.2. Marcus Williams is certainly gone.
Yeah, definitely
they
gone.
hate
now.
his guts there. They could just free up 3.1.
Just see him walking down the hallway. People are like, "Oh, yeah, man, walk in the other hallway. Don't walk in the same hallway as us."
Bradley Chubb, I put him on here. They could free up $1.9 million for cutting him. I wonder, like, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully he's worth more than.
Yeah, you hope so.
But you never know. You never know.
They're like, "Oh, $2 million saved."
But yeah, I did some research there, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning.
You were crunching the numbies.
Did some numby crunching. So
Late night numby
A lot
crunching.
more of that to come. Tis the season for the late nights.
Tis the season. It's Thanksgiving season. Like we said at the top of the show, we're thankful for you all. Thankful for you all tuning in. Week 12 recap. Little Dynasty stash talk. Little dead cap talk. Makes my heart filled with joy talking dead cap. But seriously, hope you all enjoy Thanksgiving. Like we said, 3 games on Thursday. We know y'all are going to be watching just like we are, as well as the Black Friday game on Amazon. So make sure you got the Amazon Prime app downloaded. And if you got Thanksgiving that day, you got another game to watch with your family.
That's right. We love Amazon.
We do love. Their product is good.
Looks great.
It looks very crisp. I want to upgrade the announcers quite desperately. I think it's a below average pairing at this point with Herb Street and Al Michaels, but
What about the other group though, like the Fitzpatrick and the
that doesn't register to me
Tony
at all.
Gonzalez and
Whitworth and
Sherm.
Yeah, those are all just such non-factors to me.
Yeah.
because I don't have to, and I don't start the game like listening to it until the game actually starts.
Yeah.
So it's the announcers that I have to actually deal with because post-game, pre-game, halftime, don't care.
Yeah.
muting, going to the bathroom, running some errands, whatever I got to do.
That's when we're like, you get distracted by those crews, right? You don't mean to watch them, but like you find yourself like tuning into like 3 minutes just because Fitzpatrick is being a weirdo or something.
Yeah, they're doing Snow Angels.
Yeah.
After the interview with Jameis Winston, that was kind of fun. But
It's like same thing with like sometimes like your kids will be watching just the dumbest stuff in the mornings, and like you'll just catch yourself like tuning into it for a second. You're like, what am I doing? Like, I'm late for work.
yeah, like
Why am I watching this?
you got to just let your brain take a little nap with your eyes open sometimes.
We do dumb things.
Yeah.
Sometimes. What I'm trying to say.
Kind of just sit open mouth and watch
Yeah.
things that are on television, bright colors.
We hope that's what you're doing to our show.
Yeah, we hope that's what you're doing at Thanksgiving as well. So y'all enjoy the holiday, enjoy the football. We'll be back hopefully as
Enjoy each other.
enjoy each other, enjoy your children and your families. We'll hopefully be back as a threesome next week to give y'all the Week 13 recap, y'all. We're coming down the home stretch. We're going to take care of y'all as we head into the playoffs. But like we said, enjoy this week, enjoy the football, and we'll see y'all next week.
It's the IDP